The third level of listening is empathic listening. In this one, you think, using my heart to feel the correct emotions. Using my heart to feel the correct emotions. In terms of time, this is now where you disengage from the present and you go back to learning from and empathizing with the past. John 4, there's a passage there, 17 to 18, but we'll pick up the phrase there where Jesus says to her, "You are right when you say you have no husband." Okay? You are right when you say you have no husband. Empathic listening requires an open heart. You've got to open your heart because now we are getting into engaging our emotions. It occurs from within oneself when you listen to another person, and it results in experiencing an emotional or a sensing connection which enables you to see through the presenter's eyes, to feel what the presenter is going through, in their emotions. Jesus sees and brings up the heart of the matter with the woman's life. Okay, her biggest need is the kind of spiritual drink that Jesus has just spoken about. Okay, and when Jesus speaks about that drink, she says to him, "But you don't have anything to draw with." And Jesus says, in his mind decides, okay, let's go deeper here. And he asks her a question about her husband. Go and call your husband, something like that. And she says, "But I don't have a husband." Jesus says, "Right, that's where we are getting into. You are correct when you say you don't have a husband." And he goes on to paint a picture of her past, connects and empathizes with her past. Okay? And that is why later, this woman goes to tell people, "Come and see the man who told me everything that I ever did." Because Jesus painted this picture of her past, where, she tells her about the relationships that she has had. Okay? And for you and I, we may have had to listen more and ask more questions for us to get to that point. But again, Jesus is Jesus. He got to know all these things because he is God. But he paints that picture for her, so much so that she feels connected with him and goes to tell people, "He told me everything I ever did," because he connected with her. Also note that he connected with her without judgment. The fact that she has had many husbands before is something that you and I could look at and we begin to judge. What kind of a woman are you? Even if we don't say that out loud, we might say that in our heart. But look at what Jesus says. He connects even without that fact, without judging this woman. That is empathic listening. And as he paints the picture for her, she begins to see this man understands where I'm coming from. The presenter and the listener then go into what we call mirroring images or reflecting. The listener shares the images. Now the listener is speaking and the speaker is listening. So the listener shares the images, the metaphors, the feelings, the gestures that came up in the silence. Remember that they go back into silence and reflecting, and then they begin to present all that came up. Okay? And the original presenter has the opportunity to say, "No, what I mean is this," or to correct themselves or to paint for them an even better picture, that the way that they know the picture to be. This is done in brief, because it's just confirming the facts, confirming the emotions, confirming the facts, confirming the picture of the past. It is clarifying the picture. So you ask clarifying questions as the listener. In this place, the presenter has the opportunity to now listen carefully. And even at this point, the presenter who presented before, as they are listening now, they also need to listen without judgment, without advice, without defending. They correct the picture, without emotionally getting entangled and beginning to defend. Mirror imaging is an empathic way of listening, and it helps to really connect with what the presenter has presented without bias. But it also assures the person who presented before that they have been heard. All too often, we leave a conversation feeling like, I just spoke so much, but they didn't hear me. This is an opportunity for us to learn to listen in a way that someone feels they have been heard. Again, note that this stage of responding, or this stage of reflecting, is not actually responding. You are not taking the opportunity to correct. You're not taking the opportunity to say, okay, now my side of the story is. No. You are still focusing on the side of the story of the original speaker, you as the listener. You are still listening.